Now, I about your thoughts on content and what to post and where do you get your inspiration and how do you decide what you want to share on your Instagram?
So I'm constantly inspired by the people I follow. So I would say it's so important to make sure that you're following accounts that you look up to, that are opening your eyes to things. It doesn't mean that, you know, you want to be careful about that. You don't want to be constantly comparing yourself, but you want to have some people who are really creative and who you look up to. And, you know, there are these huge accounts. I mean, there are tons of them, or not even huge accounts. It could just be people that speak to you and you save their posts. The ones that get a lot of likes, that have a lot of engagement, a lot of comments, you save them and then you go back to them at different times. So some of my inspiration really comes from looking at what worked for someone else. Like, why did that post get so many comments? And, you know, there are ones like the ones that I think are really great are like, what was the most impactful thing a therapist ever told you? And then people give, you know, I had tons of people respond opening up about lessons they learned from a therapist. But I think it all really worked because so like on the actual post I wrote, what's the most valuable piece of advice that you ever heard from a therapist? And then in the caption, I shared vulnerably the most impactful thing that a therapist told me, right? So I had to set the stage for people to open up to me, right? If I didn't do that and I just said, what's the most valuable thing? People are gonna be like, why would I open up to her if she's not gonna open up to us, right? So it's not like, we really need to build that trust. And what happens is you share, people share. And it's not like, don't overshare, right? Don't share something you wouldn't want them to know. But I shared something that a therapist told me that was helpful, and then people open up. So I think it's partly you being a little more vulnerable than you normally would be. Only whatever you're comfortable with, though, knowing that you're going to be uncomfortable, but something. And then also look at what works for other people, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Maybe do something a little bit like them, but in your own words. And, you know, I save tons of posts from other people because I go back to those that work.
That's so helpful. I think that there's like a particular formula for what works, what people are looking for. You know, they want to post, you know, or I'm going to post like 5 days a week, and then they don't get the interaction as quickly as they were expecting, or then they feel like my content's not good. Like, I think it's really important what you shared is like you're intentional about what you post and you look at other content, and then you're also very patient, right? So it takes time to build your following, but you definitely will see the reward.
Yeah, and it's okay if you post something that you thought was awesome and people don't respond the way that you thought, because that happens. That happens to me a lot, where something that I thought was really like meaningful to me wasn't received that way. And just because you're not getting that response immediately and they aren't validating it doesn't mean that it didn't impact someone. So there are plenty of people, and I'll admit, myself included, where I'll read a post and it really hit me and maybe it was a little too personal. I won't like it because I don't want to like it, but I thought about it and it meant something to me. But it doesn't mean that they, you know, so really we want to not use that as the measure that it was a good post, like if people like it or not. Like, actually, I'm really trying to work on this. Is like, it's not about all these people liking it. It's about I'm speaking to the particular person that I'm trying to speak to. And as long as they get it, that's what matters for me.